All right, bear with me. We got about 5-10 minutes left. It's going to be real quick. All right. Fire ground hydraulic calculations. One thing, talking flow meters. Anybody that's taking the sergeant's promotional exam, pay attention to what I'm getting ready to tell you. There are two types of flow meters. All right. A paddle wheel and a spring. Paddle wheel, think of the Bell of Louisville. All right, so it's sitting, we got a pipe or hose, water's coming through it, paddle wheel, water pushes the paddle wheel spins. Revolutions per minute, sends up, does some computer shit up here, spits out gallons per minute. All right, that's one method. Spring, same principle, water's coming through, instead of a paddle wheel, it's a spring. Bends the spring, the bending of the spring, computer shit happens up here, spits out gallons per minute. All right, two types, paddle wheel and spring. We don't have them. We have them on our aerial masters devices and stuff like that. Otherwise, we have pressure gauges. You know, and because you guys are so smart, you're thinking, well, Pat, why don't we have those on all our discharge gauges? You know, that would eliminate all the nonsense we've been talking about for the last 2 hours. Because they're expensive, and that's why. You can put them on anything, you know, we just don't, because they get expensive. You know, we have them on the aerial devices, and that's about it. All right. Again, that'll spit out a number if you're on an aerial and you're looking, and it little red number, whatever that number says, that is gallons per minute, not pressure, not PSI. All right. Different type of hydraulic calculators. There's manual, which TFT always used to give us a bunch of them. It's looks like a rectangle, cardboard, and it's slide rule. You know, where we would say, okay, I want to do this. I want to flow 500 gallons per minute out of a 3-inch line, and you would slide it to get what you want, and then it would tell you your pump. Okay, this is what your discharge needs to read. That is a manual hydraulic calculator. You know, they also have electronic, looks like calculators. I would go out on a limb to say that there's probably at least a dozen different hydraulic calculator apps, you know, out there as well on phones. You know, it is what it is. I mean, you want one, go get one. Do you need it? No. Pump charts, what I gave you, which should be on all the pumpers too as well somewhere, close to the pump panel. You know, gives us that information. So, you know, you start pumping, you're doing whatever you're doing, and we start doing aerials and blitz fires and cross lays and everything else, and you start to freak out, you got that to fall back on. All right. Never, ever, ever exceed pump discharge pressure policy. We do not have a pump discharge policy, but what do we never, ever, ever exceed? Our test pressures, right? Condensed Q is a shorter version of the CQ squared L, and how you figure that out. For 3-inch, starting at 3-inch, Q squared, that's it. Remember, our coefficient for 3-inch is 0.8. To simplify that, they made it 1. And this is all per 100 feet, so L would be 1. So those are gone. We don't even need those anymore. Just Q squared, and we can figure it out. It'll get us into the ballpark. If, which I don't think any of you all ever said you heard this before or not, on blitz fires, you know, and stuff, say if anybody ever told you 25 pounds per 100 feet is the friction loss for that. That's where they got this from. Because if I'm flowing 500 gallons a minute, right, from a blitz fire, divided by 100, I get 5. 5 squared, 25. So that's where they get that. If you ever heard anybody say, oh no, it's 25 per 100. That's because they did condensed Q instead of doing what we did. You know, it doesn't matter if you factor 20 or if you factor 25. All right. Now, for 4-inch, same thing. You just divide it by 5. You know, so on 4-inch, if we're doing 500 gallons per minute, it's 25 divided by 5 is 5. So a significant decrease of friction loss, right? It's only 5, which we aren't running 4-inch hose anywhere. You know, 15 or divide by 15 for 5-inch. You know, that's how you would figure that out if you're messing with it. You know. All right, good on that? We're not done. One more thing. Because we don't do this very often, and when we do, we usually don't do it very well. All right, relay pumping. Again, we don't do it very often, but every now and again we do have to do it. Relay pumping is any time we have an incident of fire here and it is greater than 1,000 feet away from a hydrant, right? Does that make sense? You know, I have a hydrant here, but my incident is so far away that I don't have enough to do it with one pumper. We will insert pumpers then. That is relay pumping, all right? And again, that doesn't happen very often. Every now and again, it will. We did the GE warehouse fire. I set up a relay that was damn near a mile long. And I can assure you, I will never, ever, ever, ever do it again. Ever. I will get in my car and drive to Frankfurt and sign papers and retire before I do that again, because that sucked. All right. Relay pumping is super easy. I think we complicate it sometimes because we overthink it, which is rare for firefighters to overthink anything, but for some reason we overthink this. All right, it's not that hard. All right, we lay all our 5-inch out. It's going to connect to a pumper. We're going to pump to that pumper. And we have 2 options to get to make it work. I don't care. Nobody cares. You don't care what this attack pumper's doing. You don't care. I don't care what they're supplying. I don't care what they're flowing. I don't care. Neither do you if you're any of these. All right? You have 2 options. Whichever one you hit first, that's what you do. Okay? Option 1. Because we've already talked about it. All right? We have our master discharge and we have our compound gauge. What do we never go below? 20. Option 1. We get it all set up. We get the water in there. We start throttling up. Option 1, our compound gauge gets to 20. We stop. Does everybody agree with that? Because we're not doing it any lower. We're not flirting with disaster. That's one option. All right. Option 2, because this is a good hydrant. What would that be? 200. Huh?
200, or stop at your discharge.
Oh, we're not going to even get close to that. Yeah. Are you talking about this?
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm thinking too far ahead.
Yeah, we're not going to get that far. We're not going to come close to that. Why won't we come close to that? I'm here and I'm pumping water through this 5-inch line into engine 2. Huh? Hey! We all have dump valves, right? Every pump has a dump valve. And you guys say, yes, Pat, we do. And we test it every month. Yes, we do. Mm-hmm. You know, and because we test it every month, I know that it goes off between 145 and 155 psi. That's right, Pat, I did know that because we test it every month. All right, so option 1, right? Or option 2. This person says, stop, my dump valve's going off. Back it down, back until it stops flooding your feet. That's it. One of those two options. Nothing else matters. You know, we are either going to give them everything that the Louisville water companies can give us, because that's what that is, right? Or we're going to give them everything the waterless pump manufacturing company is going to give us. That's it. Everybody agree with that? You know, we can't go, it's as simple as that. You got two options, all right? Don't get confused. You know, we're doing one or the other. And it doesn't matter if they're down here screaming for more water. That's it. I'm giving you everything that we can give you. That's it, you know. All right? Everybody good on that? Two options on it. All right. Any questions?